This will be fun. So thank you for doing this, Suzanne.
You're welcome.
Said he. This is I'm in a Car episode number 28. Number 28. Someone else said lucky number 26.
Did they?
Earlier today. Yeah. So
you've been busy today.
I have been
26
busy.
Today.
This is number 3 today.
Wow.
I gotta tell you though, this is like my favorite part of the week. It's just too much fun. I love to drive cars, and specifically this one. But I'm hoping through this series, if we can get it big enough, so you guys share the content, we get more people watching. I'll be able to get like some fancy classic car or something like that, just to do it with that.
There you go. That would be cool.
But no, back to the task at hand. I've got Suzanne Bone with us today in the car. Suzanne is the executive director, president of Foundation for the Guelph General Hospital, and it's awesome to have you. So thank you for doing this.
I am happy to be here.
And actually, this is my 4th video today, because the first one I did was with Elizabeth.
Oh, that's right.
As the Monday motivator.
Yes.
And she did a great job.
That's
so
great.
Way to go, Elizabeth.
Good.
You rocked it. And she was talking to me a little bit about how you got involved and that kind of stuff. And really, I said to her, I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but I said, I have a couple of rules I live by with my life. One of them is if Suzanne Bone asks, I do it. So maybe we can give the audience, remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to remember that. It's on tape now, Rob.
Yeah, like there was any question. But maybe you can just give the audience a little kind of background in terms of, where you've come from, what you've been up to, and what you're doing these days.
Sure.
Great.
So I came to Guelph 26 years ago now, in 1991. I was doing my master's in health administration at U of T, and the last 6 months of it was a placement. And Steve, who is my husband now, was teaching in Guelph, so I thought, well, I'm going to come to Guelph and check out the hospitals there. And so I did my 6-month placement at Guelph General, and the fundraising communications position became free while I was in that 6-month time frame, and I started doing some of the work as a student, and then 6 months was up, and they offered me the opportunity to stay, which was great. Never imagined that, a quarter of a century later, God, that sounds like a long time.
Put it that way, yeah. How serendipitous is that?
It's true. It's true.
Great.
The organization has changed so much. The hospital had, our budget was about $25 million when I started, and it's $145 million now. We used to have 400 staff, and now it's like 1,300 or 1,400 staff. But the values of the organization haven't changed, and the fact that lives are changed and saved there every single day, and I get to be a part of that in a little way. That's what keeps me there so many years later. So it's been a great place to be. Guelph is such an awesome community, and working at the hospital, it's been a great work-life balance as well, which is important.
Well, you got your 2 boys.
Yes, 2 boys.
One of them, Michael, who I know a little bit more better these days, because he's got a wonderful lady who helps take care of our twins.
Yep. Yeah, and actually, Mike was helping Caitlin the other day look after those beautiful babies, and I saw a picture of Mike holding the baby. It's like, okay, that's your baby fix. Like,
awesome.
Yes. So Michael, and then so he's just finishing university, and Jack's just going in. So
cool.
2 boys. It's been great to to be able to introduce them to the hospital and volunteering and giving back to the community as well through the course of this.
Awesome. So, you've been a huge part of the hospital, and just in terms of, being a part of the community. I mean, the foundation is, from Taste of Guelph back in the day, Black Tie Bingo it's probably the event, I would think, in town. You've been doing so much, and the team's really changed over the last 12 months. I know there's a lot going on at the foundation to get ready for something big. I'm not sure how much you're allowed to even talk about it at this point, but there's a lot going on. So with regard to transitioning the team and bringing on new roles, new faces, what kind of things over the years have you kind of kept in your back pocket that you might be able to share with the audience, tips and tricks so that they might not either make the same mistakes or can follow the footsteps of some things that you found really work well?
Right. It's true. We have grown in the last little while in particular. When I started at the foundation, there were 2 of us, and there are now 8, 6 of us full-time and 2 part-timers. And by and large, we have really long tenure, so people stay a long time. So I really haven't had to do much recruitment other than recently,
right.
With a little bit of turnover and also a little bit of growth, which has been great. So we are gearing up for what our next big project will be. The hospital has some pretty important projects that they'd like to make possible for our community, and it's actually I found it quite different leading a team of 8 compared to even a team of maybe 5 that we were a year ago. It seems like that growth of 3 people has just really meant a little more need for structure, a little more need for some processes and different communication than we used to have. It used to be just everyone knew because we were so small and
people have been there for so long.
That's right, and it's not the case anymore. So we've instituted some things which we've taken from the hospital. Actually, some of the work that is being rolled out around the hospital. So we have, as an example, weekly huddle board where we all just gather by a board where we have our goals and objectives written and just talk about what's coming up and what obstacles are there, what do people need other people to know, what help do people need, just so we're kind of all on the same page.
Yeah, it's interesting. That concept I've heard repeated from a lot of high performing teams, and when it was introduced to us, we kind of dismissed it. We're like, that seems like a bit of a waste of time,
right.
Like huddling together around a board of goals and every week, and just seems a bit much, you know? Yeah. And so the first time we got introduced to it, we just kind of dismissed it. We're like, yeah, we don't really need to do that. We're fine. Yeah. And then we heard 8 people say the same concept over a 2-day period at this conference we were at. Okay, we're like, okay, obviously we need to be doing this. Yeah. So let's just start doing it. And we never could fathom how powerful it is when we meet every day now.
Yep.
We're bigger of a group, so it really helps us build communication and everybody's on the same page and get stuff out of each other's way. And it just seems so simple.
It's so true.
That it couldn't be effective, but I think that's kind of the brilliance of simplicity.
Yeah, it is.
Most simple things usually have the best impact.
Yeah, it's true. And it's 5-10 minutes maybe, but it can get so many problems out of the way that you save so much time by investing that 5 or 10 minutes. 10, probably at least 10.
Yeah.
Maybe even 15.
Sure, but even 10, 15 minutes. And standing.
Yes.
Yes, that's
standing. Yes. In fact, one of our team members, Rob, this morning said, "Hey, could we ever do a walking huddle? Just take a picture of the board and bring it on a phone or an iPad and let's go outside and walk for the huddle." So
pet a conference.
Yes, we might try that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great idea. Yeah. Cool. So then when it comes to, you've been there, you said quarter of a century. I was going to say 25 years, but quarter of a century, that really does kind of speak to the tenure, right? What kind of things do you keep in mind to keep yourself going? 25 years of, you're not doing the same thing because you're helping bring in different pieces and working on different projects.
Yeah.
The hospital itself is growing like crazy, and the community demands and government all kind of changes. But in terms of your core function and the day in, day out, what kind of stuff do you keep in mind, or do you think of to kind of keep one foot in front of the next?
I think for me, it's going back to the why of the foundation, which is saving lives and improving health together with our community. And I know that without the support of our community, the amazing caregivers at the hospital wouldn't have the equipment that they need to provide that care. And so when I hear a story of a patient, or when I hear those baby chimes go off, and I know that a baby has just been born, or you see a patient leaving the hospital or someone coming in, just it really drives it home the impact that what's happening in the hospital, and that's just motivating in itself.
It just kind of fills your cup almost daily, weekly.
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And relationships are important as well, certainly with the staff team and the amazing volunteers who I've had the opportunity to work with, like Rob, one of our board members.
Thank you.
We've had, I think it's 80 board members over the year. I was just looking at the full list of board members, and I probably had the opportunity to work with, maybe there were 4 or 5 who had left before I joined. Plus all the other volunteers who help out who haven't been on the board, and the donors that I've had relationships with over so many years who really want to be able to help make a difference.
It's awesome. I mean, you kind of do have a neat perspective on the community and those relationships, and being able to really steward people in our community to help make a difference for the people that live in our community.
Yep.
I think that is just the coolest thing. And I was saying it earlier in the video, and you mentioned it just now, but I think it's worth repeating. The foundation exists in order to purchase the equipment we need to make great patient care possible at the hospital. And so many people I meet, run into, even that have been part of the foundation, have been to events, have no idea how the government isn't paying for all the great tools and equipment we need to make great patient care possible.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, pretty much every dollar that we spend on patient care equipment comes from a donor. And 1 in every $2 that we spend on all of the millions of dollars of equipment that the hospital buys comes from a donor. And when it comes to things like building projects, big building projects, the ministry, the government will pay 90% of the construction costs, but the community is responsible for 10% of the construction costs and all of the equipment that isn't nailed down to the building.
Right.
So there's an expectation that the community contribute, and really it's that community support that funds excellence in many respects.
That's awesome. And to be part of it, I mean, I just think it's I'm not sure how to put words to it, which is kind of weird for me, because normally I'm pretty good at it, but there's just something a little bit different about. I've been a part of a lot of community organizations, not just in Guelph, but all over Ontario, and there's just something different about the board at the hospital and the foundation. I don't know, everybody's just there to really make a difference, and it doesn't seem like there's any real agendas at the table except for how are we going to make this work the best we can so we can have the best hospital possible. So it's just, you're doing an amazing job, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to volunteer on the board. So
thank you. That's good. I mean, that's what we strive for in terms of working with our volunteers around that board table. We want you to be saying that so that you keep coming back energized and helping us make good things happen.
Yeah, well, you guys are on the ball. So one last piece then, just as we're going to roll back up to the hospital in a second and drop you off for doing this item declare. Is there any authors or speakers or anybody you kind of follow that you got words of wisdom from that you pass on as something that you kind of keep top of mind? The Simon Sinek, and it was you, Rob, who introduced me to that, and the Power of Why, it's called. That really did resonate, and I asked myself that question. I think we've got it down at the foundation. I mean, we know what our why is, but it's important to keep coming back to that in all things in life. You're the second person today to say that that's the most important piece.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's so true. And so how long did it take, for people to understand? Because I think a lot of people understand that they need to find their why, and that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and all the kind of benefits and residual value that comes from identifying what that purpose is of why you get out of bed every day to do what you do as a company or organization. But how long did it take to do as a process? What was it like from your perspective? Easy, simple, difficult, challenging?
I would say it from start to finish. Certainly many months. I don't know whether it was a year. We started talking about mission, vision, values, and we ended up with, no, let's do a why, and kind of that is the mission and the vision, kind of all in one. And it wasn't hard, really. in one respect. I guess in another respect, it kind of was, because how do you kind of boil it down just to that nugget?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a great process. I think it was, and it led us to a really good spot.
And so would you say it would, like, let's call it 8 months?
Yep.
And then 8 months well spent?
Oh, totally. Totally.
So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that I have a hard time communicating to people about defining purpose.
Yeah.
Is, well, most often I ask, why do you do it? Well, I got to make money. I got to feed the kids, right? I got to put food on the table. Yeah. But no, it's like, okay, well, really, you can make money in lots of places. Why is it you do what you do? Why did you choose this?
Yeah.
And often the answer is fuzzy. It's, it's difficult to put words to, and so I think a lot of people that I've spoken to anyway kind of embark down this road, and then they kind of like, I'm too busy. I got stuff to do, right? They don't kind of chunk out that time over several months to really work on it.
Yeah.
So I guess really what I'm hearing you say is it's time well spent.
It's definitely time well spent. Bring the right people around the table, and it's a great exercise just to sit back and really think about why it is that you do what you do. And I mean, I think about the foundation, and what do we do? Well, we raise money. But why do we raise money? We raise money to save lives and improve health, and that that's powerful now, and we use it. I say it probably at least a couple of times a day. I write it a couple of times a day, whether it's in letters to donors or proposals or a thank you card I'm doing, any of that kind of stuff. It's why we do what we do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good. And I think what you said there, just to wrap up, getting the right people around the table is so important. Because when we were working on it, we had some really cool people around the table.
Yeah, we did, and different perspectives,
Big
which
time.
is important.
Yeah.
I think that's the value of a. You don't want the group too big, but you don't want everyone who thinks the same way.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
All right, bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.